When you start making music, you start hearing a lot of different concepts that might confuse you, like compression, limiting, clipping. And one of the concepts that I actually struggled to understand was phasing. So let me explain phase to you right now. Alright, so here we are inside of Paint and I'm going to show you what phasing means. So here we have a typical waveform that goes up and then down, okay? This is called the peak and this bottom is called the valley. Let's call the peak up and the valley down. So now a waveform usually goes like this until the sound just stops playing. So now let's imagine that we have another waveform played on top of this waveform that goes like this. Okay, so here we have sound A and sound B. When sound A goes up, B goes up, and the sound A goes down, B goes down, and you can see that this is just a cycle. So these are basically sounds that are aligned in phase because both of them are respecting the peak and the valley. Let's put a scenario when we have sound C go out of phase. And this is sound C. So sound C is going out of phase from A and B because when A and B are going up, C it's doing the complete opposite, it's going down. Okay, so this is basically like an inverted mirror. This would be 180 degrees out of phase because it's completely inverting the phase. But you can have small subtle phase issues like this, for example. This would be another typical case scenario where you can see that C is going up at the same time that B is going kind of up, but B it's going down when C it's actually reaching its peak here, and B it's already going down. But you can see that they are kind of in phase, but in reality they are out of phase because a real true phase would be both of sounds playing at the exact same peak and valley. Okay, so this is basically the phase of a sound. You can apply this concept to every single sound of your tracks, but let's hear in practice why this is such an important theory that you need to understand if you want the quality of your music to actually be as professional as it can. Alright, so here we are inside of Ableton and you can listen to this kick and bass that we have here. Alright, so I've programmed this kick and bass to align them perfectly in phase, and this is how it should look. If we open up an oscilloscope, this is how the kick and bass should always look if you are completely in phase. As you can see, we do not have any moving between the waveforms, so everything just flows and connects super precise. Let's see if we shift the bass a little bit and look at the oscilloscope. Alright, so I moved the sub bass just a little bit and look at the tail of the kick right here. I'm going to zoom in right now to understand. Here we have the kick going up and down, just as I said before on the paint. But here, when it should go up, there's something happens here, and then it goes a little bit down, and then it goes up again, and then down here, and up, and then down here. This is a phase problem, and this phase problem will cause your bass to lose power and it feels disconnected. You might not really listen to it so much, but it's there, and this is a big problem because if you start stacking up phase issues across all your sounds, it's going to sound bad. You need your sounds to be aligned in phase, okay? The way you can properly tell if your sound is in phase, you can use kickstart and then put your sidechain input to your kick, and you can visualize the kick on your plugin here. And you can see here with the waveform, when sound A goes up, the sound B it's going down, and as I explained before, this is out of phase. Now to correct this, all you need to do is just start moving the waveform until it's in phase. So let's start moving the bass and see when they are in phase. So now this is in phase. As you can see, both waveforms are connected flawlessly. Now let's go to an extreme here, and this is going to blow your mind. So going into the example that I said before in Paint, if we have zone A and B going up and down at the same time, they are in phase. But let's start shifting the phase of zone B and you can hear what happens to the sound. It's going to blow your mind. So right now we will have zone A and B playing together. And we are going to start moving the phase of B as we play them both together. So you can hear, as I'm moving the waveform, you can hear how the sound is basically changing until it's actually losing so much energy that it's no longer the exact same bass and it's no longer giving the purpose of this sound, which is a consistent low end power. And if we take it to a more extreme level where we duplicate the sound A into sound B and we completely 180-degree invert the phase, listen how it sounds. I'm going to add a utility here, and with these two little buttons I'm going to actually invert the phase 180 degrees. So both are turned on, and let's play the bass. So you can see in Ableton that sound A and sound B are producing sound, but on the master we hear nothing. Look at this. So sound A is playing, sound B is playing, and on the master we do not have any signal. And if we turn this utility off, so this is phasing. When you have two sounds that do not align in terms of the valley and in terms of the peak volume, and they basically start canceling each other out. Now this can apply to all concepts in music. If you start layering sounds, for example a clap with a clap, you need to try to align their phase too, because both claps are occupying the exact same space, the same as hi-hats. When you start layering hi-hats, you sometimes feel that you lose some energy. It's probably because you are actually phasing your hats. So a couple of tools that you can use to start manipulating phasing is Melda Auto Align, and another plugin called Fuser by Mastering the Mix that also allows you to tweak the phase of different sounds. Alright, so that's it. I just want to keep this video super simple, super short, so you can understand the basics of phasing, but there's a lot more stuff that can go around. For example, many plugins that actually makes your sound stereo or expand your sound use different techniques that might actually delay the sound. For example, there's a super common trick to expand your sounds that it's called has effect, and this is probably the worst effect if you want to expand your sounds, because it actually has a lot of phase problems. If you want to learn more about phasing, hit the link in the description to join my Discord, and you can ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer and guide you into how you can properly align your tracks in phase. And well, don't forget to like and subscribe, don't forget to comment in this video, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.